Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel for another video, and welcome to part 2 of the why are you not losing weight on a GLP-1. If you missed part 1, we talked all about things that you cannot control. So genetic factors, comorbidities, things that happened in your childhood, all of the things that you really don't have any control over. That is what we talked about in the first part of this video, which I posted on Tuesday. So you can go back and watch that if you haven't yet, and I will try to remember to link it down below. I'm kind of bad about remembering to do that, but it is like 2 videos ago. So today we are actually going to be talking about the things that you can change, the things that you can do differently to try and help out your process, okay? Now, these things, they're things that you can do, right? But are they things that are gonna 100% help? I don't know. Let's just go ahead and dive right on into it. But first, if you're new here, my name is Brittany. I have lost over 100 pounds using Mounjaro and compounded tirzepatide, and I share all about my journey here, and I would love to have you subscribe and stick around. We have a lot of fun here. We are real, we are raw, we're honest, and we are trying to be relatable. So if that is something that would interest you, leave me a comment down below and hit that subscribe button. So the first thing that you can do to really alter the scope of your weight loss, the number one thing that you can do is actually consistency. So being consistent in several different ways, not just with your diet and your exercise routine, but also your shot routine, right? There are people who I talk to, people will email me and they'll say, I'm not losing any weight. I've been stuck at 10 pounds lost for a month. And so I'll shoot them out a few questions. Have you done this? Have you done that? And most often, consistency is actually where they are lacking. So what I mean by that is they're not being consistent with their shot. Sometimes they're like, oh, well, I took it 3 days later. I had to skip this week because we went on vacation, or I had things coming up and I skipped a week, or I couldn't afford the medicine, which is a whole thing in and of itself. There's always something with consistency in terms of weight loss. Consistency is key in everything you do in life. So you have to be consistent with the time and day that you take your shot. A lot of people will tell you that time doesn't matter as long as you take it on the same day, but I have found that if I'm consistent in all ways, so if I take it in the evening, on the same day, every single week, that I have better results. So be consistent with your shot. Try not to miss injections. I know sometimes it can be hard with the cost of things, with the availability of things. I know, I get it. But try to be as consistent as possible with your injection, and you will you gotta keep the levels of the drug in your body as consistently as you can to see the best results. The next thing that kind of goes along with that is dosaging. So making sure that you aren't staying on a dose for too long. And on the flip side of that, not increasing your dose when you don't need to, right? So being really intentional about your dosage is also very important. If you have been on 5 milligrams, let's just say, for 2 months, and the second month you didn't lose weight at all, and you're not feeling any more appetite suppression, or your food noise is back, then maybe it's time to talk to your doctor about increasing your dosage. You have to really be proactive about sitting and thinking about what's going on. Okay, well, it's month 2 on 5 milligrams, I'm not losing any weight. And that is why I actually say that keeping a journal or writing everything down or using one of the apps is really helpful, because you can go back and look at your data and say, okay, this has been going on for long enough. Maybe I need to, try something different. So being really proactive about your dosaging and your shot schedule is so important. The program will work if you follow the program. That's what I try to tell everybody all the time. If you do what you're supposed to do and you follow the quote unquote rules, you're more likely to succeed. Now, does that mean titrate up every time your doctor tells you to? No, but it means being intentional about it and really thinking it through and not just following, right? Not being what they call a sheep, and actually just being proactive in your own health journey. The next thing is you're not changing your eating habits. Okay. I know there's going to be comments of people that come and say, well, I didn't change my eating habits and I've lost 75 pounds. And that's great and that's fine. But if you want to change your overall health in the best way possible, then you need to do something other than just taking the shot. You need to increase your water. You need to increase your protein intake. Specifically, those 2 things. Do those. If you don't do anything else, protein and water are the most important. But also just trying to eat healthier, trying to, if you went to a fast food restaurant 5 days a week for lunch, maybe this week I'll go 3 times. It doesn't have to be overnight that you change, but it does need to happen in order to have long-term success. And any healthcare professional will tell you that you can't just take the shot and expect to lose 100 pounds. You have to change something else. And this is a tool to help you do that. So if you're not seeing any weight loss, take a look at your diet. Is there things that you could improve or change within your diet that'll help your weight loss and help the shot carry you further on your health journey? I think a lot of the times the answer to why I'm not losing weight comes from us. And if we really look within ourselves, we could see the things that we're doing wrong that we need to change, right? So not being consistent with your diet and your exercise is definitely one. Do you have to do hardcore exercise? So that's another misconception that I hear quite often, is you have to be doing these like high intensity workouts all the time. And that is also just not true, okay? There's a lot of new research coming out. I have seen several different articles and publications coming out recently where they talk about how lower impact workouts are actually the most beneficial during GLP-1 use. So think nice long walks, think light weight training. Weight training, yes, but light weight training, body weight exercise, push-ups, squats, those types of things, or even some light dumbbell weights is actually proving to be the most effective during GLP-1 use, because it helps to not stress out your body, not stress out your muscles like you would in a higher intensity workout. I know there's going to be people that are like, Brittany, that I do high intensity and I'm doing great, and that's fine. But again, with statistical data, you have to look at it with a grain of salt and say, this is what's working for a great number of people. Will this work for me? Number 4, are we on number 4 or number 3? I don't know, is that you're stressing too much. You're thinking about it too much. It really is simple, okay? You're expecting too much at once. Within my Facebook group, which is always linked below, and like the Orderly Meds Facebook group, I see all the time people saying, I only lost 5 pounds this month. It's my first month. And I see all these people losing 15, 20 pounds, but I lost 5. What's wrong with me? And the answer is that nothing is wrong with you. You could have had one of those other issues that we talked about in the other video. You could have had something that is not within your control that is causing you to not lose weight as quickly. But we've seen time and time again that people who stay with it, the slow losers eventually catch up. It just takes them a little bit longer, right? So stressing yourself out and worrying about it and constantly obsessing over it and researching all over the internet all the time to find the information, all that does is cause yourself anxiety and stress on the body manifest in so many other ways. And one of those is you're not going to be your healthiest state. Your body's not going to want to let go of weight. When you put your body in this super intense, stressful state, your body's like, literally clenches up like this. And it doesn't want to let go of any waste. You might become constipated. It doesn't want to let go of any excess weight. You become inflamed. You're in a bad mood. All of those things manifest and carry over. So my advice is to not read everything that you see on the internet. And I know I'm literally a content creator in terms of GLP-1s who is telling you not to believe everything you hear on the internet or to not stress about everything you hear on the internet, because it's true. You don't need to. I see a lot of people pushing extra vitamins and extra shred gummies and all of these things. And I'm just like, you don't need any of that. You don't need any of it. You need to take your shot, drink your water, eat your protein, take a walk. 4 things, and that's it. So if you notice that you're not losing weight as quickly as some of the other people surrounding you, try not to worry about it. Try to stay the course and try to remain consistent all of the time. One tip that I really have is to not weigh yourself as often. I know some people weigh themselves quite literally every single day, and that ends up, in my opinion, causing more anxiety and stress and obsession over it. I saw a TikTok the other day of a girl who would weigh herself. She posted a thing saying that she weighs herself first thing in the morning with no clothes on, after she pees, takes her hair down, makes sure she stands a certain way, all of that stuff. And she does it throughout the day. And I'm just like, how do you have time to do anything else if you're that focused on your weight? The purpose of the GLP-1 is to, yes, suppress your appetite, but also to kind of turn that off in the brain. And so if you're finding, that's another kind of clue that maybe you need to go up in dosage. If you're finding that you're still obsessing about food and about the weight on the scale and about all of these things regarding diet and exercise, then maybe you're not at your most efficient dose. Because if you're at your sort of magic dose, what you should experience is non-obsession about the weight, non-obsession about food, non-obsession. And really sort of this whole not caring about it in general in a way that allows you to care about it and allows you to do the work. You know what I'm saying? So that you're not obsessing so much that you're able to do it. GLP-1s can take away that obsession for you. If it's not, maybe you're not on the right dosage. So you see people that are scared to increase their dosage because of side effects, because they've read about them, or people that are on semaglutide who it's not working for them, who probably need to switch to tirzepatide and they just don't bite the bullet. So having a healthcare provider that is going to go to bat for you, I've said this a million times, is the absolute most important. So take your concerns to your doctor. Don't be afraid to do that. They are working for you. They are there for you. Without you, they don't have a job, okay? So go take your concerns to them, shoot your doctor a message. I probably bug mine too much, and take the answers that a healthcare professional gave you versus things that you see on the internet, and that will vastly help your journey. Vastly. I went off on a tangent about that. I'm sitting in front, I know most of you probably don't care about this, but I just filmed what I got my kids for Easter video for my other channel. I'm literally sitting here in front of a bunch of Easter baskets. But anyway, if you want to see that video, it'll be on my other channel tomorrow. We're doing multiple filming things this morning. But anyway, that's kind of it, right? Like there's not a whole lot that you need to control when you're on a GLP-1. And that's the beauty of it. That's the point, that you don't need to have the control, that we are relinquishing the control of the constant obsession over diet and exercise. The medicine has helped us to relinquish the control, and now we can just do the dang thing. So try to be consistent. That is it. That is the number one thing that you can control to aid in your journey, is to be consistent in the areas that you can be consistent in. Taking your injection at the same time every week on the same day. Making sure that you're getting your protein, making sure that you're getting your water, and try to tune out all of the other things that you hear all of the other people say. Because really, that's all you can control. And realizing in life and in GLP-1 use that we can't control everything and that some things we just don't have the opportunity to change is the most beneficial thing you can do for your life anyway, right? I can't control my past and everything that happened to me, but you know what I can control? What I do now. You can't control the fact that you were obese and fat and it wasn't your fault that you were for so long, but you know what you can control now? Your injection and your protein intake and your water intake and surrounding yourself with like-minded people. You can control that. So that's what you need to do. And my hope for all of you is you can find this same mental peace that I have found in my journey, and that you can take what you hear and kind of be able to decipher what is important and what you need to keep track of and what you need to actually apply to your life and what you don't. Because there's a lot of noise and a lot of stuff that we just don't need to hear. Another thing I would say is all of the obsession over affordability and of access. And I know it's important, right? Like I talk about it all the time. I know it's so important, but it stresses us out, right? And so doing what you can control, stocking up if you're able to, that sort of thing is all you can do. And stressing about it and obsessing over it is not going to change the situation and the outcome of it in any way. All it's going to do is hinder your own health. So that's my little spiel for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. The last video portion was definitely more like facts. This is what you cannot control. This portion is more stuff that we need to be mindful of, right? And it's a more personal aspect of it than the things that we can't control. We our minds are the most powerful thing about us. And what we do with our mind and what we tell ourselves and what we allow into our brain is the most important thing. I want that to be the takeaway of this video. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. You guys help me so much, and you are if you would have told me 2 years ago that this would be me, I would have laughed at you. And I'm just so grateful for each and every single one of you from the bottom of my heart. I'm probably gonna start crying now. Okay, so thank you so much for watching today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day, guys. Bye.